The biggest misconception is that they think we're expensive if they've never been in an outdoor. Just the opposite. We're the least expensive, and we're the least expensive outdoor because we're the only company illuminated 24/7. People get confused comparing one spot, one insertion ad. With us, you have to compare it against 4 weeks of 24/7 advertising. Our digitals can be as cheap as under 5 cents a spot, and which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, and then of course we reinforce other media so well, and then with aided recall, we do a great job. So the biggest misconception is if people have never been in out of home, they think it's expensive.
Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce presents Chamber Chatter with your host, Drew Casascia.
What's up, everybody? This is Drew Casascia, your chamber representative here at Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Chamber Chatter. Coming to you from the 21-6 Creator Studios. Got Nick Kubiak, the digital wizard behind the box there in the producer studio.
Hey, everybody.
Today, I got some exciting news. A couple of friends, actually, of mine sitting at the table with us. But first, we got to do some due diligence here, Nick. So what's new, man? What do we got going in the chamber?
Oh, gosh. Well, the summer's coming up. That means Parade. That is the big community event that we have coming up. That's July 2nd, I believe, this year.
Yeah, the second. It falls on a Sunday.
Yeah. So that's going to be really huge. We have 15 to 20,000 people, at least, I would say, all up and down Dole Avenue. If you're not part of it, become a part of it. Register at clchamber.com for that. We also have our golf outing coming up, the annual Golf Classic. We're approaching 40 years on that, which is huge.
Always fun.
That's going to be at Bull Valley this year.
Yep.
We are moving the tees up, so you don't have to pretend that you can golf at Bull Valley and that you have the skill to golf at Bull Valley. We are accommodating.
I don't think I have the skill to golf at any valley, buddy.
We'll just keep you on the putting green.
Yeah, I just drive around in the cart.
Yeah. That's the best part.
That's what I do best.
You get the wind in your hair or where there would be. It's just
the wind in my This might
just get windburn.
Right.
But yeah, and then we've got events coming up in the fall. We have sponsorships available for pretty much all of our events. Go to our website for more information. Contact the chamber. Talk to any of us. We'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah, folks, if sponsorship, get your name out there. I think there's plenty left. Feel free to reach out to any of us at the chamber. Go on our website and check out what you're available to sponsor for. And I think even some of the upper level tiers that we have some built-in stuff to it as well. But we have new stuff happening in the fall too, which we're not allowed to really talk about quite yet. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah. But there's going to be some opportunity there for you guys as well. Also, a workshop. If you haven't done the workshop, the free workshop that we do, we have a little breakfast. We have a little coffee. It's a networking event. It's a good time, Denny. You should probably come to one of those. It'd be good to see you there. I can't press it enough. We show you the value and give you the education and the tools on how to get the best value out of your membership. Sometimes I hear when I walk into one of our members, they're like, I just don't understand what I'm getting out of this. Well, come to our workshop. We're going to show you. And it's a nice little sample of, getting the network on site as well. And that's an event in itself. And then feel free to come to every one. Sometimes we change it up because we've got new stuff happening, but you get to meet new people every time, So that's coming, every third Thursday of every month. Feel free to go ahead, clchamber.com, go ahead and register on that calendar there. Becoming a member. If you're not a member, or if you know somebody that wants to become a member, have them reach out, clchamber.com. Once again, go under the membership tab. Click on that. If you end up filling out the application and you heard about that through Chamber Chatter, go to the very bottom under member referral, put 216. That's going to earn you a free coffee and a deep dive on your business from Drew Casascia. That's me. And or don't. If you don't want a coffee from me, that's okay too. Otherwise, if you need to reach me, 815-459-1300, extension 12. That's how you get a hold of me. So yeah, excited about our guest today. Why don't you go ahead and give an intro on that?
Yeah, so today we are joined by Mixed Media Group. We got Denny Orsinger on the right here, and on the left we got Dale Spoeth. All right, well, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, Denny, we'll have you go first.
Okay. Well, I'm Denny Orsinger, and I've been in outdoor advertising for about 49 years.
Wow.
And
Long time.
and an entrepreneur as well, of which most of the businesses, if not all the businesses that I participated, came from the outdoor arena. I started in 1974 with 3M Company, the National Advertising Division, and then formed Orsinger Outdoor in Denver, Colorado, which was sold to Madison Avenue concern called Winston Network / TDI, which was a company that used to lease all the billboard locations to the outdoor companies across the United States. And consequently, going through all these endeavors, I've ended up opening up other companies like California Outdoor, Los Angeles, and Bakersfield, up in Bakersfield. And
wow.
We had locations even on the east coast of Florida, the Space Coast, I think they called it, on 95. We ended up selling those locations to Kluge. He was in the business. He had Republic Outdoor. And I came back, eventually had the Hispanic billboard company in Chicago called Aztec. And through my associations with, 3M and Winston, I was all over the country. I was building out a home of some kind, including putting backlit units on telephone booths in Madison, which are now digital, at this time. And then we came back in the late 90s. I think Mixed Media was officially formed around 97. And we had another company too called IOC, Illinois Out of Home Corp, which developed locations, and we would develop billboards for Clear Channel. It was called Eller at the time, but then it converted into to the Clear Channel. They're the largest in the world. So we ended up building Clear Channel. We had guys at the time from Gannett that were in the business that were running a day-to-day. Quite frankly, I didn't know too much about what we were doing as far as where we were building. I had other people doing that. So Mixed Media involved. And we brought a product called Ad Lights, which was a product that 3M brought over from Italy in the 70s. So the backlight billboard was the sexy billboard for many, many years. The cigarette companies would use it. Joe Campbell, the Marlboro Man.
Describe real quick what the backlit billboard, what is it?
It's illuminated internally. And at first it was illuminated with fluorescent lights, and we changed it here to halogen lights. We did that for two reasons. One, it keeps its brightness to 40 below zero, which fluorescents lose at 40 above. And it also brings out the true colors of food and people, where fluorescents have a tendency to have a bluish tint or other kinds of tints on food, and that type of thing. So, then, Aztec was then actually sold to Patrick, which ended up becoming Clear Channel. And we came back and developed, the Mixed Media, and we ran that ourselves. And after this proprietary product, Ad Lights, then it took us many years, and we developed the LED network. And we're the only one that has an LED network of 6 different displays throughout the Northwest Territory. And it's taken us several years. Actually, I think we probably are in the 7th year, and we just got the last 2 faces in the last 6 months. But we actually now have the only true network of digital. So then digital gives you the benefit of being able to change copy rapidly, advertising current promotions. It's a lot cheaper to change copy. One of the negative things about traditional outdoor, it's slow, inexpensive to change copy.
It is.
Now
you can roll up almost a slideshow, right?
Absolutely, and we do.
Yeah.
And we can take a library and program it all kinds of ways, have customers be very proactive in it. And in fact, we have McDonald's at one time copy changed with weather, because it's nothing but a giant computer.
Yeah.
And if it reads a certain temperature, a certain product would come up. So it was really kind of cool. And we still use the Ad Lights, which we're the only company that has the network and the backlighted product that we rotate. By rotate, we physically move the advertising face to new locations we move them every month, but for customers, we move them 60 to 90 days. We don't want the copy to get stale. We want it to be
So you'll have a
fresh.
rotation.
We have a rotation on that program, and working in unison, they really work the best. And we have the typical static billboards as well. And we have billboards in Eastern Iowa, and we have one left in Detroit.
Wow.
We were developing for Clear Channel, and they made a deal with CBS at the time, and they pulled out of Detroit. So we had one location that took us 4 years to develop, which is permitted to go digital right now. And we kept it. And it's just been something that we've had for many, many years, and we've kept it going. We currently are working on a new project that, if it comes to fruition, will be huge. And, so we've had a lot of fun in it. And that's pretty much the other thing I do want to say about mixed media. We're real close with McHenry County College. We hire
That's
interns.
fantastic.
We're on our third intern, and it works great for both of us. So we're very much involved in the community. In fact, when we invented the digitals, I wanted to call it a community kiosk because that's the way I think. I want to put community stuff up there.
Yeah.
And it could be people that are lost, have wandered away from a nursing home, a bad guy the cops are looking for, and it works really well, to help the community. So we really want to be community active, and it's just great because it was never available for the local advertiser before, and the local advertiser, with the demise of their main medias, their choices are going down and down and down, and the other choices are getting watered. So we're getting more important all the time. And even, Nielsen says that we support the websites and the social media faster and cheaper, and we drive both of them better than any other media. So, we're getting bigger. We're starting to get more of the dollar. We used to get like a nickel a dollar. We're trying to get up to a dime a dollar in the industry. And we're doing that, and we're changing. So it's been a great ride, and we like to to take advantage of the problems of the other media.
So I would say, it's your first rodeo.
Yes, my first rodeo. and I've been involved in Indian casinos to hubcaps, bringing out of Taiwan, you name it.
I meet with Denny. It's like a quarterly you and I have, and the man of ideas, Nick. When I sit down with Denny and we talk, he's like, so I had to say, well, first of all, if you can't tell, you can talk about an apple for 3 hours. It's very similar to me. I don't know if you have anything to say now.
I can completely add to that.
But he knows the science, right? He knows the science. He knows, and he doesn't sell, right? It's not about the sell with Denny. It's about the science. It's about the ideas. It's about making it come true. I remember one time I was sitting with him. We were having a dinner, and he's like, I have this idea. I gotta, think about it and everything else. The next time I saw this guy, I'm doing about 400 of those now. I'm like, holy cow! I'm like, he makes the idea go to fruition, go to reality, which is awesome. That's awesome, Denny. Thanks for chiming in today. I'm gonna touch your little Padre over
There you go.
and see what he's got to say now. Did he take it all, Dale? Why don't you give a little intro on us about you and a little bit of your background and how you fit into the puzzle here?
Okay, so I'm Dale Spoeth, and I've known Denny probably 20 years, but I've known him a long time. We've crossed paths numerous times. I've spent 35 years in the cable TV advertising business, working for Comcast, basically. Comcast was the 6th or 7th company I worked for without ever changing jobs. The cable business started out with, just zoned local advertising on 4 cable networks. When I got into business, actually, funny story. Going back to how I actually got into business. Right out of college, I went to work for the Yellow Pages, and being the visionary that I am, I knew that was going away eventually, which it has. I mean, who uses the Yellow Pages anymore, right? So after a year, a friend of mine said, "Hey, we were United Cable at the time." He was working as an installer. He goes, "I hear they're starting up this ad sales thing, and my boss needs an extra installer. Why don't you come work for us? quit your crappy job at the Yellow Pages and, come work for us. And then when the ad sales thing's ready to go, you're here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did that. So I spent I thought it was going to be a month or two. I started in December, Illinois, not a great time to be climbing poles, So I got into the business because my major was radio and TV. That's what I wanted to do. I did an internship at an NBC affiliate in Peoria, my senior year of college. Wanted to be on the on-air side, but they made me an offer right out of college, but it was for like $4 an hour. No. And I'm like, oh,
that'll pay back that loan.
That's not going to pay back the student loans.
Right.
But, walk in the parking lot, you see Mercedes and BMWs and stuff like that. And I'm like,
somebody's doing something right.
Somebody's doing something right. Who's that? Oh, those are sales guys. Maybe that's what I should lean towards. Because unless you're, in a top 10 market, you're not going to make any money. Sure. I mean, the number one sportscaster was making $7 an hour in Peoria at the time, So I decided to get into the ad business. And, after 11 months of climbing poles, we finally started out with, 4 networks: ESPN, CNN, USA. Actually, it was 6: MTV and Sports Channel, which is now NBC Sports Chicago. So that's where I started, and was selling that for 35 years. We've grown into digital media and all sorts of things, but the media landscape has changed a lot. It's changed a ton over the course of 35 years, where it was. Now you're selling 60 or 70 cable networks, and it's really niche marketing, and audience are becoming more and more fragmented. Streaming and everything else, and
it worked well for Blockbuster, didn't it?
It worked well for Blockbuster, exactly. So that's kind of where I've been. I left Comcast in December. They were kind of in a downsizing mode. I saw the writing on the wall. I took an offer that they gave me for early retirement, even though I wasn't ready to retire yet. So I gave Denny a call and I said, "Hey, I think I can help you out. I know you're looking to grow. I've got the experience. I know media. I know outdoor. I think outdoor is a great place to be because of the media fragmentation.
Correct.
I mean, you can't turn off a billboard. You've got to drive by it. You have to drive by
it. For some people, it's many, many times a day. One person, many, many times a day.
Yeah. So, and I have a lot of local relationships with existing clients, many of which I'm working on bringing over to us. And here I am.
Awesome, man. Well, that's a great story. So when you talked to Denny, was he like, yeah, no? I mean,
no, actually,
you guys were friends.
We've known
how that works.
We've known each other a long time, and we'd go out and occasionally have a beer or dinner or something. And we've always tried to figure out a way for us so we could work together. And
connective tissue.
Yeah. So when when this came up, I gave him a call and I said, "Hey, I think we can work together, and I can help you out, and I can help grow your business. He can focus on what he really likes to do, like what he's working on in Denver and getting, a larger network in other cities and so on and so forth. And then I'll take over the sales end of it here." And I like how you mentioned that Denny doesn't sell. Neither do I.
Nope.
That's why I was 35 years in the media business. You could pick up the phone and call any of my clients, and they'd be like, "Dale didn't sell me anything." Right. He helped solve my business
problems. Right. So, it's that relationship build, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've been known to tell people, I might have a proposal in front of them, and after learning more and more about their business, I'd be like, "You know what? You should spend your money with me. Maybe you should take and spend this money somewhere else."
And I'm glad that you said that. I mean, everybody's heard me say it on Chamber Chatter before, and I say it in some of the meetings that we have. When people even reach out to me on LinkedIn and it's a pitch, deny. I want no part of that. I had somebody call me not too long ago and they were like, "Hey, how are you doing on your SEO?" I'm like, "Hey, who's this?" They're like, "Oh, this is Tom." "Hey, Tom, how's the kids? How's the family?" Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, we've known each other for a while, right?" Like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, why don't we start there?" and then we can talk about it. Because if you build that relationship and you have a vetted network, why would you go outside of it? Right. So the king of the digital billboards is who I like to call you to most of my friends. If listen, folks, if there's media that you want up there, these guys, they're just going to sit down and have a conversation with you. That doesn't usually cost anything, right?
Nothing.
Conversation about how to put their name out there, and some of the best ways to do it. They are the creative for that. Feel free to reach out to them for that as well. What would be a good way for people to reach out to you, Dale?
Best way to reach out to me is either send me an email at dale@mixedmediaoutdoor.com or give me a call on my cell phone. I have it with me 24/7, 847-867-9829. I've had the same cell number since the old bag phones and the giant brick phones.
The brick phones were weapons.
Phones were weapons back then. I've had the same number. And even at Comcast, they would give me a Comcast issued phone. You know what? I'm just going to use that to forward that number to my phone. So everyone I know has my personal cell number. So that's the best way to get a hold of me. Or you can call Denny at the office, and he'll make sure I get the call. And I'll sit down and have a business conversation with you. We can come up with ideas. I'm your consultant. I mean, it's on my business card. I'm a media consultant. I'm not an account executive. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a media consultant.
Yep. And if they want to, you should just check out your website. What's the URL to that?
It's mixedmediaoutdoor.com.
Mixedmediaoutdoor.com. Awesome. And Nick, you're in marketing space, right? And you're in media space too. So
a little bit, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I want to ask you guys, there are some businesses that I feel are a little bit hesitant towards old school advertising right now. They're all about Facebook advertising, YouTube
social
advertising, all these social media platforms. What are some common misconceptions? What are some things people might not think about regarding billboards, electronic or traditional?
It's funny that you mention social media. That's one of the things we can help you with.
Right.
I mean, we actually have a team. When you buy say you buy just one of our ad lights, we still work with you. We work with you for free. I mean, it's added value. We will consult you on your social media. We will help you with your Google Analytics and show you that, driving by our digital billboard on Route 31 and your ads up there, we'll show you the lift that we drive to your website. Because you know what, people, that's what they do, is they'll see a branding ad for your business on a static billboard or a reactionary message with a sale or a happy hour special on a digital billboard that can change. They're not going to remember a phone number. They're just going to remember your business. What are they going to do? They're going to pick up their phone, and they're going to Google your business, and then they're going to pick up the phone then and call you from that phone number. They're going to go to your website, and that's what we do. Is we have a system in place that really helps drive traffic to your business via social media. I mean, Facebook ads, and this is one of the things that's happening a lot in the digital space. And I'm talking, computer digital, phone ads, that sort of thing. I mean, there are a lot of privacy concerns coming out. People can now opt out of all those ads. So they're not going to opt out of a digital billboard. We're going to help drive you to their website. We're going to take your social media. We're going to try and help you by making suggestions. We're going to put your stuff on our site. We're going to share it so you can share it. And then the mumble is going to keep going on and on and on. And more people are going to learn about your business.
It's an ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Itself. Yeah. That's awesome.
Anything you want to add to that, Denny?
No, I mean, that's one of the big things that sets us apart is that we have a system. I believe in selling systems. I hate the word pitch, and I can't stand to pitch anything, but I like to learn about people's business and be the doctor, right?
Yeah.
Listen to them and come up with a remedy so you can help them out. And today, it's definitely social media. It's definitely just for the reasons that Dale brought up. And then we also put in a little digital billboard that changes with the customer's ad, so they can always see what they have. And it's also another avenue of how they can measure it, because people commented on it all the time. And it really works great. It's a pad that electronically we can get to. They don't have an opportunity to mess it up. Electronically we just send in what's up there, and they can be updated all the time to see what their copy looks like. And like I say, people comment on it, so it's really nice. But it's part of the system of the social media and also the Google Analytics, and we do it all free because we want people to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And we take measurements before we start a campaign. We take measurements during a campaign, after. We've done it all. We've been very successful, putting in effect our system.
And to add to that just a little bit is copy. I mean, everybody's seen a terrible TV ad.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's seen an awful billboard. When you drive by it and you see 400 words on a billboard and you're like, what the heck is going on?
So busy.
Yeah. I mean, so we're the consultants. We're going to help you. We're going to come up with ideas for you. And we want an idea that is consistent across all your advertising platforms. So if you're buying cable and billboard and radio and broadcast TV, or God forbid newspaper, because nobody reads those anymore, but we want to have you have a consistent message across all of your mediums, and we'll help you with that.
Yeah. Well,
a major misconception, huge, is that, first of all, since we've only been getting a nickel or less, most people don't even know what we do. So our biggest job is to educate people.
Correct.
And the biggest misconception is that they think we're expensive if they've never been in an outdoor. Just the opposite. We're the least expensive. And we're the least expensive outdoor because we're the only company illuminated 24/7. People get confused comparing one spot, one insertion ad. With us, you have to compare it against 4 weeks of 24/7 advertising. Our digitals can be as cheap as under 5 cents a spot, and which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, and then of course we reinforce other media so well, and then with aided recall, we do a great job. So the biggest misconception is if people have never been in out of home, they think it's expensive because they're looking at the number, but the number is almost a month of advertising. It's not one spot or one insertion.
And the huge part about that is it's a month of advertising, and you're not going to get a customer just from one time driving past the sign.
No.
It's a month of them driving to and from the place that they're going to and seeing that sign.
And anybody who knows anything about advertising it's all about reach and frequency.
Yep.
I mean, and that's part of the reason that we have the rotation on the ad lights.
Exactly.
Because that expands your reach. You might be only buying 2 ad lights from us, and one might be on Ackman Road and the other one might be on Pyatt Road or Virginia Avenue. But guess what? In 2 or 3 months, we're going to swap that out to another location that still meets the needs of your business, but maybe it puts you on Route 31 and on Route 47. And that's just going to get you new and different eyeballs. So that's expanding your reach. The frequency is the amount of times that people keep buying. Right. And it's the same concept in television, is reach and frequency. Yep. People always say, Dale, how do I put together a great cable schedule? What works? Well, it used to be the rule of thumb was, you wanted a 70% reach and a 3 frequency. Well, you know what? That's changed a lot now because media is fragmented. I've been looking at some of our numbers because we've got accredited research now that shows the number of impressions we get. I mean, our reach and our frequencies are in the 8 and 9s and 10s a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and I can say that for myself because, I was always aware of billboards because I was in the media, but now that I've started working with Denny, I count the number of times I go by,
Well, you're in the space now, right?
Yeah, I'm in the space. Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like if you bought the new Ford Taurus, now you see them everywhere on the road.
Yeah,
you're part of it.
And I talked to my mom the other day. She's 82 years old, and she's like, do people actually buy billboards? I'm like, yes, Mom. I think, how many times? And I just said, when do you go to the store? What do you see? She goes, yeah, I guess you're right. She goes, how many times up and down? She lives in a little town east of Phoenix, and she's like, there are, now that I think about it, I see this client, this, and she remembers it now that I just prompted her, and she's like, holy cow.
Now she's paying attention.
Now she's paying attention to it. But I mean, and a lot of people do, so.
A big part of that's subconscious.
Yes.
it's a lot of brand awareness. It's like, hey, I mean, driving to O'Hare, how many times are you going to see Brian Urlacher with or without hair before you associate him with hair restoration? Like, it's one of those things. It's like, obviously, me, I have hair. Well, I'm not on camera right now. I don't have hair. I have hair. Sorry.
Let's stop with the hair.
Stop with the hair jokes. Drew and I. Okay, we'll call Brian.
We gotta sit together over here, right? I mean, you know.
But so clearly, I don't need hair restoration. But if I ever did,
it's in your mind now.
Yeah, maybe I'd call Brian Urlacher's whatever business he's sponsoring.
You'd also be the greatest apostle because you know about it, seriously. And that's what outdoor does. Who's the purchasing agent? The person that is viewing outdoor, he might be the greatest apostle for your business. And the purchasing agent is somebody who didn't even see it. But it started what I call mumble, the communication. Sure. And that's how it works. It's just how it works. It's just common sense, really.
Yeah. Well, you know, when the data goes here in this computer, you can't get rid of it. It's there. You might forget about it once in a while, but a trigger, right? Like hair restoration. I remember seeing that. Let's just do 58823.
Absolutely.
I mean, right? I mean, we all know what that is.
Yeah,
right? It's just buried in your brain.
And people remember the Magic Kiss with the lips, and it hasn't been in business in eons, decades and decades.
Where's
and people
the beef?
still remember? Yeah. Right.
I mean, and that hasn't been right. Like Mikey.
Right.
Well, he was known for something.
Right.
He likes it. It was all about cereal. He didn't have to sell anything.
No.
He just liked cereal, and that's all he did. And it sold.
Yep.
Right. That's awesome. So, you know, Denny, back to you real quick. So what was your inspiration about getting into this? What made you go, this is what I want to do?
I was really looking for security, to be honest with you.
Is that what it was? Just like everybody?
Yeah. And, you know, I played the radio games. I played the agency games. There was, and through an employment agency, they came to me and offered me this opportunity. And I had not a clue on what it was, you know, and it was something I wasn't even really familiar with, but I knew advertising. In fact, it was kind of funny. The way I got advertising, I heard enough mumble from the guy that was my boss and his boss. And I finally said, look, we've met enough times. If you want to go out and present advertising, I know how to do that. I don't know how to do your paperwork, but I know how to present advertising. Right. And this fits in. I can get that done. Right. But I really did. 3M was a major company.
Yeah.
And people didn't even know that they were in the business. Anything with the name Scotch, except Scotch, is a 3M product.
Right. That's right.
And they got in the business originally because they had Scotch Light sheathing, which they put in signs. They still do to this day, to your city and state signs, to your striping on the roads, at airports.
Really?
Yeah, it's reflective materials.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah. Small little airports, you know. And so that's how they got into the business. So they got in the business in the late 40s, and they bought National Ad. That's why they kept 3M National, and they bought a company out of Waukesha. So they were vertically integrated. And then it was funny, they bought a lot of companies and ended up selling the Metro parts because they didn't understand the Metro parts. They just wanted the Scotch Light part, the highway stuff. And then they ended up decades later spending 10 times the money buying them back when they got into the metropolitan business of advertising. So,
well, you're very passionate about what you talk about.
Yeah.
You could tell. You know, you get that fire in your belly and the sparkle in your eye a little bit when you start talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we had a dinner together, your wife was there, and it's funny. Again, tell me if I'm crossing the line, but we were talking, and he was going at it, man.
Really?
It was billboards.
Really?
And she's eating pizza, and she's like rolling her eyes, and then she's like, every second of the day is about billboards, and I'm like, well, that just tells me that you're very passionate about it, and that you actually know what you're doing. There's a difference. People who pretend. So listen, folks, if you're out there and you're looking to get involved with on this style of media, and you're trying to do it on your own, sometimes it's not about the how, but it's about the who, right? And it doesn't cost you a dime to have a conversation, build those relationships, reach out to them. One more time, how do they get a hold of you?
Dale at mixedmediaoutdoor.com, 847-867-9829,
or they could call the office number, which is 847-462-8433. And my cell number is 312-543-8255. 2751. I had cell phones that had that and my Denver number on it.
He
when you
loves
had
calls
to.
at midnight.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
feel free. No, I'm just kidding.
Guess what? You don't understand how many calls we get.
I bet.
And especially from our boards in Iowa near our casinos. And they start calling, and it's kind of funny, the calls we've got. I think they had some help.
One thing that I know you guys touched on, but for people that might not be graphically inclined, design wise, you guys help them make the billboard.
Absolutely.
That is so huge, and I think that just needs to be pointed out.
And there's no additional cost for that. I mean, that's built into our pricing is not only our expertise, but our creative minds, our team's creative minds, and just we'll come up with ideas for you. All we need to do is learn about your business, what your goals are, what you're looking to do, and go from there. And we have the flexibility, especially with our digitals, to run multiple lanes. You know, I think I briefly touched on it earlier. You can, if you're a restaurant, I mean, you could run a breakfast special, and then if you have a happy hour special that same day, that ad can change. It's not going to, especially on that's the beauty of our digital system.
That's really cool.
You know, and we take care of all that for you.
You know, copy is so important. When I first came here in the 90s, and I was really developing stuff for Eller and Clear Channel at the time, and I used to see the outdoor here, and it was basically rotten signs. I mean, it was just terrible copy. And that's all it was. And that's one of the reasons people didn't really understand it, because it really wasn't quality outdoor advertising. And you have to convince copy. In my life, more than once, I've made people sign a document saying, "Hey, I don't recommend putting something on, you know, because it won't work. And if it doesn't work, you're going to come to me, and now it's going to cost you money to change the copy. And I'm going to bring it out in the open now." So, but copy is so important. It's so important for a good campaign. And then you have to implement it. And it's the timing. Buying advertising just takes money. That doesn't take any, rocket science.
Yeah.
But planning and the creativity is what a good campaign is about. Yep. And then measuring it. And we measure it. And they didn't do that before. Well, we do now.
That's huge. That is so huge. So we have a lot of mom and pop shops, a lot of small businesses.
Yep.
What are some of the first steps if they are not in this space? Obviously, getting a hold of you guys for a consultation, a one-on-one to learn about their business. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that costs you nothing.
Exactly.
You know, we can talk about your business for as long or short as you want to. I mean, at 15, 20 minutes, get some ideas out there. Or if you want to spend a couple hours with me and just pick my brain about how I can help your business, even if it's not doing outdoor advertising with us, that's what I'm here for.
Well, would you say that it's fear that holds back the mom and pops, the bootstrap companies, stuff like that, to talk to somebody like you guys because they feel that it's going to cost them a lot of money without knowing?
I think that's what Denny mentioned. There's a misconception that it's extremely expensive, and it's not. I mean, I used to have the same misconceptions of cable TV advertising. You know, they think, oh my God, it's going to cost me, $7 million, like it's a Super Bowl commercial. Right. I mean, we had, and that's how Denny and I hooked up, because the cable ad side of the business is zoned. And I mean, the McHenry County area that we cover is 2 cable ad zones. Yeah. So, I mean, it's cable made it affordable, and just like we're affordable. And, and to be honest, it's a great mix, if you have the budget. If you have one or the other, obviously I've come over to the right side of that media mix, but with mixed media. And but yeah, I'm here to help you and consult with you and help guide your business into growing and meeting the goals that you're looking for. I think fear is, especially in a tough economy. I mean, the businesses that actually succeed in a tough economy are the ones that are actually a little bit willing to take a risk and step out and grow. I mean, a lot of companies have succeeded by going outside the box and doing something different, especially if the economy's smoking, it's great. Everyone's going to replicate what their competition does, what everybody else does. But you know what? if your competition's not doing outdoor, maybe you should.
Right.
You know, maybe you should and be the first. And that's going to even put your business out there even in a better position.
That's right. And then when the market share increases, it's automatic. It just explodes.
That's awesome.
Well, and anything that pertains to marketing, there's always, you guys know this, the SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And for me, always the most important is that, what's the opportunity? And so many businesses, it's usually advertising because it costs money.
Right.
It already costs them money to start their business and get things going. But the biggest opportunity that they have is to continue growing and sustain growth.
And that's important too. You know, there's a cost, but the cost is a variable cost. If it works, it doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
It's not a fixed cost. Like when you open up your business every day, you have to pay your insurance, your light bill, whether you make any money or not.
Right.
Yep.
And we're a variable cost. So if you do something that's making money and we measure it, and we can show you, it's really not costing.
It's an investment.
It's gaining.
Yeah.
Yep.
It might cost money to gain money, but that's okay, because if you're gaining, what does it matter?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I know that speaking with the partnerships here at 21/6 Creator Studios, once again, appreciative of them letting us use this to do our platform for Chamber Chatter. Kent said, basically the same thing. It's, if we could show you that you can gain off of it, what is it? What difference does it make? And he's been in media for a while as well. That should be a conversation you should have with him too. I think you guys could have a good conversation, you two. But yeah, and Nick, you've been in marketing. You're a young guy in marketing. In today's world, social media. It's like if you're not on TikTok doing some kind of crazy dance, or not even talking about your space, but for some reason gaining business. And that's what I see happening. Like you see it or hear it enough, it comes forth. It's the same promise, and they're going to do that and more. So they're going to come in, they're going to look at your Google Analytics, they're going to help you with your creative touch on who you are and what you do, and ping pong those ideas back and forth with you, put you up there as the front of the house, right? That front of the house creates the ecosystem that rolls through the system, and you start gaining off of that. And if you can do that, then you're doing something right. These are the guys that are going to help you do that. That's what I would have to say for that.
Yeah. For advertising, you want to go where your customers or where your target audience is.
Right.
If you're targeting that teen demographic, TikTok might be the place to go.
Right.
If you're locally targeting, billboards are a great way to do that. Really.
And that is another big thing about us is that we target your audience, and it's still a mass audience, and there's little waste. No medium has as little waste as we do, because after we interview you and find out, where your customers are coming from and what your desires are, that's where we put you. You're not in places that don't make sense. There's an opportunity to succeed.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about that real quick. If you're posting in generalized public and you're a B2B, that doesn't mean the guy driving his car could own a business. People don't get that for some reason. They think targeting has to be within this, in this little realm. His best friend might own a business. Maybe he works for. So your targeting is everybody, because when you target everybody, it's enough of those start creating this filing pool for you, right? That end up calling you, right? If I got a friend of a friend of a friend, well, that's still business. Right?
Absolutely.
One of the things that we did about this targeting thing was we didn't touch on it yet, but we're an excellent source to use for HR purposes. If you're hiring, it's perfect. And we've had people that have looked to hire people close by en route because they thought people would like to do that. And so they advertise signing bonuses. Then the same customer was advertising out on the west side of the county for people going to Belvedere to go to the Chrysler plant because they had the skill sets they were looking for. And on those billboards, they were advertising travel allowance. So it really, the same customer, advertising two different ideas in two different places.
5 times.
But they knew they wanted to advertise there because the skill set was available on the west side of the county, or closer by, it was close to them, and they wanted just to get a signing bonus and get them.
That's smart.
That is.
Yeah,
that's smart.
That's smart.
What are the bigs that come to you and say, "Hey, we want What are in your ideas of being creative for both of you? What is what's the ideal customer? They're all ideal, right? But what's the one that you're like, I have an idea?
Okay. Well, first of all, retail is perfect, and of course we talked about HR, but it's about putting an idea across. Here's an idea right here. When it comes to real estate people, okay, the biggest thing in the real estate business is getting a listing. If you can get a listing, anybody can sell it, and you're still getting your big half out of the deal. So if we can show you how to use out of home to get listings, that will make sense right then and there. And ironically, you're not using it; you're using it to get the listing,
and you're getting it in volume.
You're featuring their particular home to get the listing, and that's the difference between you and your competitor, because they're going to give them the same deal on the MLS list. They're going to give them door hangers. They're going to say we're going to have open house on Sundays, but nobody can offer what we can offer, because when they do a deal like that with us, they get an exclusivity. So now this is why you want to list with me and nobody else, because I own this area that your house is in and your prospects are in, and nobody else can give you this except me. List. So that's a great idea. And yet they're not doing it to advertise their business. They're doing it to get that listing.
The listing.
Yeah. It's about business. I'm about talking business.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. Wow. I told you, Denny, man. I just want to scrape off some of that. Just rub it on. I need to be smart like Denny. That's awesome.
That is.
Going back to you, Dale, what inspired you to be a part of this? Was it job security like it was for Denny?
No. What inspired me to get into the outdoor business was it's the same as what I've been doing as far as helping local businesses helping others thrive.
Great answer.
I mean, even in my personal life, from the time my kids are all now in their 20s, my youngest is the same age as Nick. And when they were little kids, everyone around town called me Coach Dale, because I wanted to help people. And I volunteered coaching football, coaching basketball, coaching, travel baseball. And I've always had a joy of helping others. And, I was never really a salesperson in my entire 35-year career. I'm Coach Dale on Saturdays and Sundays, but I'm also Coach Dale Monday through Friday. But instead of, teaching you how to throw or hit a baseball, I'm teaching you how to grow your business,
how to level up. Absolutely.
So, that's what's inspired me.
Yeah, helping others. And it's funny that you say that. I had somebody once tell me, I said, my goal is to help as many as possible. And I was told, just worry about the numbers. You can help them later. What do you think about that comment? Right.
In 35 years, I've had a lot of inspiration, positively and negatively, from managers, especially working for a large corporation like I did.
Well, and nobody realizes, right? They don't realize that they don't put the dollar sign next to the word help. If you help 3, you get 5. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And then those 5 now know who you are and will constantly talk about you if you do right by them. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
That's awesome. I know that's the way you grew up. You and I come from the same neighborhood in Chicago, which is an interesting story. When I first met you, what is it that you're doing now for fun?
Well, I have a pinched nerve. That's the only thing I got going against me. Otherwise, I'm pretty lucky.
That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's not
really fun.
So people paying extra for that?
Like I'd like to, but not anything for fun. I'm ready to go. I'll walk out the door at any time. I drive my wife nuts. But
you guys are awesome,
because I know that there's Walmarts everywhere. I just go. And we still spend a lot of time in Denver, and we have cars, and of course we're actually a Colorado corporation, the mixed media. IOC is an Illinois corporation, but I have season tickets for the Denver Broncos, and I've had them for years, so I don't miss a game, any of them. And my wife will only go generally to one, at the most 2, and it has to be warm, of course, but it's not that cold out there. And she used to be a smoker. And the funny story is, because she was a smoker, she got into a silent auction. We are the proud owners of John Elway's last jersey. Wow. And I'm glad we got it, because it's cool and it's worth a lot of money.
Was this the signal?
Yes. And she she didn't think she was going to win this auction, and she came to me real meekly, like, I think I won something, which you can interpret like, what did you buy?
Right. Right.
And I'm glad she did it.
Yeah.
Because she was always frugal with things, except when it came for her vices. Well, then that's a different story, of course.
True.
But anyhow, so that's something that we still do.
Your wife is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to like to ski a lot. That pinched nerve kind of put a hamper on it. But I'm going to get ready to. I'm working on it. I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. What about you? What's fun for you?
What's fun for me? My wife and I like to travel. We just had our 35th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
And, so we were on a cruise for a week. We play a lot of golf together. I play, both my boys played high school golf. One of them played college golf. My daughter played college or volleyball. And so I still like to do a bunch of fun stuff with my family and kids. I'm actually planning a golf outing this Saturday with one of my, it's a scramble up in Wisconsin, and one of my boys is on, I'm with him and two of his buddies.
Nice.
Because it was going to be a little cold for my wife. So she bailed out. She's like, you can take one of Danny's friends. And then my other son has got 3 buddies and they're playing golf in the same outing. So we'll have a little inter-family competition going on, maybe for a beverage or 2 afterwards.
Of course.
So I like to play a lot of golf in the summer. In the winter, I sit around and I'm probably the biggest sports fan. Our whole family is sports fans. Unfortunately, we're sports fans for Chicago teams, and
well, that's okay.
Those aren't very good anymore.
I feel your pain.
Yeah,
we're in Chicago.
Yeah,
so
we'll
just say that on the microphone real nicely. We're big supporters.
We're big supporters, and unfortunately, I'm a White Sox fan, and that's not starting out so well this year. So.
I'm a Southsider, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about baseball is there's still 418 games remaining. So I think they can get on track at some point.
And the draft starts tonight. So the Bears have a great draft. So they should turn it into a good team soon.
Yeah. So I spend a lot of time watching sports and playing sports and,
Playing sports?
Oh, yeah.
Other than golf?
My mind still thinks I can play sports. I just got my hip replaced in December, and thankfully, for the first time in 2 years, I can play golf pain-free. So, maybe I'll take one of the boys out in the driveway and see if I can take them on one-on-one with a little basketball.
There you go.
That gets a little warmer. So.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but Nick is pretty athletic over there. He's the gentle giant. Basketball coach for a kids team out of the Y. He's a go-giver by heart. But you hurt yourself, right? Is that why you're not playing as much anymore?
Yeah, no. Like 3 weeks ago, I tweaked my knee. I gotta get it looked at.
Yeah,
I got a guy.
You got a guy.
There's a guy.
I got a guy. He's a miracle worker.
Okay. My big sport is like doing a lot of this, then like resting. Resting is a sport, by the way. I don't know if you guys know
the good thing about that feeds the family.
It does.
It helps.
It does.
How big a magnet do you have on that line?
No
magnets.
No magnet fishing. I will not do magnet fishing. Oh, that's an inner city fish job right there. Right. I got like 13 guns today that came out of that river, right? So, all right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up, folks. I appreciate you guys coming up.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great time. It's a great episode. And as usual, and I know this will be the 3rd time I'm asking, but why don't you go ahead and throw out some contact information one more time? That way people know how to get a hold of you, because I know he's going to do his magic on the back end with some of the editing too and make that scroll. So
Dale at mixedmediaoutdoor.com. Our website is mixedmediaoutdoor.com, and my cell phone is 847-867-9829. Look forward to working with you.
Awesome, folks. Drew Casascio, Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce. You've been watching Chamber Chatter. Until our next episode, enjoy your day.